What's up, Georgie?
What up?
What's going on
dog?
today?
Oh man, today we have a very special show as we are going to be talking about Forbidden for the next however amount of time we have. And we're going to have you and we're going to have a very special guest by the name of Anibal Arroyo. So get ready.
Get ready, let's do it!
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we've never missed a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I am your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man, Vera, and I am with
The Dreamer, Medina.
bum bum ba-dum, bum bum ba-dum, bum. All right, Anibal's in the waiting room. Let's bring him in.
Ooh, let's bring him in.
Bring him out. Bring him out. Bring him out. Bring him out.
Oh. MTC, look at this kid. He's all about the drama. Look at him.
Look at him.
Oh, there he is.
Look at him. He wants to make an entrance.
I love it.
Look at him.
I love it.
Chico and the man. Chico and the
I love
man.
it. There he
He's trying
is.
to be all
There
serious
he
and
is.
stuff. He's
I
got
love the
the
entrance.
peguelos on and everything.
I'm here.
On time.
Ah, man.
On
Yo,
time.
dude, you did it. You did it. How was that traffic?
Yeah. It was a little dramatic, but yeah, everything was like clockwork.
All right. Your message had me dying, dude. Like everything went smooth. So welcome everybody.
I'd say congrats on making the goal there, guys.
Crazy.
There you go.
Crazy.
Done.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That was a
funded.
mission.
Funded. now, now
Time, huh?
the mission continues because now it's about. It's
Now it's
about,
up to stretch
making
goals.
that,
You'll get it,
stretch
man.
goal.
You get 2 more weeks. What is it? 18 days or whatever, man.
17 days. 17.
17
Yeah.
days.
The future looks bright.
Yeah. Dude, so we are live. We are live on Catch the Craze. We are here with Sam Vera, with Anibal Arroyo. I just like rolling my R's when I say your name, dog. So yeah, no, we've talked. I talked to Anibal a little earlier about some of the stuff we're going to be doing for the show today. Today's a special show. It's all about Forbidden today.
All about.
Forbidden. So this is the original Forbidden
The
creative
squad.
team.
The
You
squad.
know, we have the creators.
It's the
Sam
Latin
Vera,
Rascals.
We have the original artist, Anibal Arroyo. So we're gonna be talking about Forbidden. We're gonna be talking about, the back in the day stuff. We're gonna take a trip down memory lane. That's 2000 and what was it? 2003?
It was, no.
04.
Yeah.
04.
04?
It was.
Yeah.
He started working on it in 04. I think we released it in 05
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that was
at
quick.
the Big Apple Comic Con.
Yes.
That was quick. We had a whole in the future. We're gonna have a show about rushing into projects, and and honestly, like we did a lot of that shit, bro. I mean, a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of that
We rushed
stuff.
into a lot of stuff, dude.
We speaks from experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So all right, so why not? Let's get started. Look at oh, big shout out to Johnny. He's in already.
Okay, cool. I'm looking down because I'm looking at my phone to see. I sent out invites. I want to see who's who's replying and who's coming in.
Yeah, oh yeah. So let's see.
Yeah.
What do we got going on here? We got 6 people watching. MOB. I like that. What is the original Crazies OG? What? Johnny. We're not excluding John. This is going to be a show about the forbidden saga. So
Right.
all right, so let's get started. Let's dig in. Let's dig in. I know you guys have a lot of stories about the project itself. So I'm gonna start with you, Anibal.
Yeah.
For those, and I know you're on a podcast tour right now.
Oh,
yesterday.
On a world tour.
Yesterday.
Kicked off yesterday. Oh yeah.
You were on live. With,
I think I just booked us, the group, another one. Ray Felix invited the whole crew on his Bronx Heroes thing that he does.
Really?
So yeah, I said I'd let you guys know. So whenever we can,
look at this. All right.
do that. So.
All right. Yeah. Yesterday you were on Michael Gracia's.
That's right. Yeah.
Getting tunes. Yeah. Big shout out to Michael, man.
Yeah.
A lot of support coming from that side.
We had a real good time, real good conversation.
I saw it, man, and you guys really did. I mean,
went on and on. Even after the show stopped airing, we were still chatting. We were still talking. So.
But like I was telling you before, it was two artists talking shop, talking about web comics. You guys were talking about all kinds of different things. So
he's a very knowledgeable guy. He knows his stuff, man. Yeah, I didn't realize he had all those credentials like that. Yeah, he's very
he's a teacher. He's taught.
Yeah.
So big
college level even he's taught. So I was impressed, very impressed.
He's got a day in Mount Vernon to himself. They got the Michael Gracia Day in Mount Vernon.
I forgot about that. Oh man, that's other level right there. Wow.
Yeah.
About that.
So anyway, so Anibal, you've been doing this tour. So for those people who maybe didn't catch the show yesterday or don't know who you are, who is Anibal Arroyo? Tell us about yourself.
Arroyo.
Sure. Well, I am predominantly a freelancer. I dabble in traditional medium as well as digital. And I've been self-publishing and I've been doing indie comics since, since I met you guys. That would be 2004. I've got several stories I've worked on, several projects out. I've worked with a lot of other independents that are out there currently. And I'm just, trying to do my thing, man. Trying to break through.
Hustle. Yeah. So another big question I think that people have about the creators, right? Creative process and all that stuff is balance, right? So how do you handle the creative, the work and life balance? Like, how do you do it? How do you get all of these things that you said done and still manage to balance all of that stuff out?
Yeah, that's always a challenge, especially like when you get to this stage in life where you got, all these other responsibilities, you got a family, you got a mortgage, you got a full-time job. But for me, I've always been, what's the word I'm looking for? Put it this way. My dad used to say when I was a little kid, I was like a little old man because I always organized my stuff. I always had like my room, like my action figures and stuff was always like neat. And you know what I mean? Like we used to get an allowance. I used to actually save my allowance for like big things that I wanted to get. He'd borrow money from me sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, let me get that 50 back this week for this. You know what I'm saying? So I've always kind of had that naturally in me. And it just it developed further as I became, an adult, and through the military, it kind of grounded me more. And then I was a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't have an anchor for a very long time. So I kind of just went on and I didn't really focus and dedicate what I should have done to the art game early on. And, we all have our regrets or whatever. That's kind of something I wish I had done, but I'm doing it now. And I'm actually able now to, I'll give you the two key factors that I believe keep me, doing what I do the way that I do it is discipline. You got to have discipline. You got to be able to break away from an event or an occurrence or something that you consider fun and sacrifice and be willing to sacrifice because it's a business. It's your passion and it's something you want to do. You want to take it serious. Nobody else is going to do it for you. It's not like I could say to my wife, hey, okay, I'm going to step outside and go to the beach. Can you draw these comic pages for me? That's not going to happen. It's got to be me.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is time management. You gotta, because I work on several projects at the same time. I'm working on my own stuff. I'm getting paid to work on somebody else's stuff, and I'm doing school stuff, and then whatever else comes my way. If I can handle it, I put it in. So I try to give each project a good amount of time where I'm not necessarily finishing it in one shot, but everything is getting done slowly, simultaneously, if that makes any sense. So that to me is key for me. You got to be able to have that ability to balance and to even do it when nobody's looking over your shoulder.
Right.
When nobody's checking in on you and you don't have anybody to report to, it makes it very easy to slack off. Yeah. I'm down here every single day in my basement, in my studio. Sometimes I come down, I don't necessarily draw. Maybe I'm just too tired or whatever. I'll organize my stuff. I'll throw out some old paperwork. That's how I found what I'll show you guys later on the forbidden stuff. But I'm down here. It's a habit I've created for myself, and it's part of my lifestyle now. So that is crucial. You gotta make it part of your everyday lifestyle.
Yeah.
if you want to make it, if you want to take it seriously.
I think it helps that you have your own place to go.
Absolutely.
Like even with you, Sam, like you have your own man cave in a sense, and creative cave. They just call
That's
it
actually number 3 in the thing: the discipline, the time management, and your own space to get away from everything. That's the 3 basic components. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. So Sam, I'm gonna go to you now, my brother. So who is Sam Vera? For everybody who maybe has never seen Catch the Craze, doesn't know who the heck we are.
They've been under a rock somewhere, right? Because this guy's everywhere.
who is Samuel Vera?
If you they pulled it from TV, but if you watched America's Most Wanted, you'd see me all over the place. But Sam Vera, yes, I'm that guy. I'm an aspiring creator. I'm a content creator, podcaster, artist, writer, brokepreneur. So I'm a hustler. And my passion is creating. I love to create. I love to learn. I'm always hungry for knowledge. I love to break barriers and try my own things. So I've been creating comics since I was a kid. And I started Crazy Comics back in the late 90s. And then I left the business for a while. I mean, I produced There's an Alien in My Toilet, Cosmic Wars, Forbidden, were books that people who went to all the events and followed us at the cons knew about. And I've been back for, it's going to be 2 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2 years. Actually, it's 2 years in April that I'll be back in the game. And it'll be 2 years podcasting in September. Back since we left podcasting. So, that's who I am in a nutshell.
Because I think you did a convention last April, right? Was it last April that you did a convention?
Yeah, I did the Kids Comic Con, and then after that I did the White Plains Comic Con, and I did Mark's show. It came from the radio.
Oh, it came from the radio. Yeah, big shout out to Mark Torres, man. It came from the radio. Really, really, really good show.
Yes, when I did his show is when I knew that I had to move forward, because I announced that, because he was like, you coming back, blah, 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 and I was like, and I was like, all right, we got to do it. We got to do it. Didn't know how. I didn't have a roadmap at the time. I just knew I wanted back in the game.
Yeah. No. I hear you. And you know what? Conventions are coming back, right? They're starting to come back. So, we may be out of the convention.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're muted. What did you say?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, no, I said I think it's time. Conventions,
right? Yeah,
I've
right.
seen. I've been. I've been to the other side.
I've been there, guys. I've been there. I've been to the Forbidden.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Well, they have one. Don't they have one in New Jersey? I think in Jersey.
I was talking to John about something coming up in May. I believe it's the one run by Sal. What's his last name? Lomedico? Forget his last name.
Yeah.
PowCon.
PowCon, yeah. John said he's going to be at it.
Yeah.
And Ray saying Bronx Heroes is coming back in the summer.
Oh, Bronx Heroes. All right.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to open up, man. And I honestly, I can't wait, dude. Like, it's time. It's time.
I think we're all itching to get back.
Yeah, everybody's. Those things are going to be mobbed, dude. Yeah. They're going to be mobbed. So Sam, same question as Anibas. How do you balance? Because you're married. I mean, you guys are both married. You guys. I mean, you have a son. You have 2 sons. Yeah. But and Sam, you've got plenty of puppies and to keep you busy. So how do you balance it, dude? Like, what do you do to balance it? I mean,
before the pandemic, and when I was employed, it was we created, so with the podcasting, we created a schedule. We record Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And what I did was every Sunday was my wife day, right? So this is when I was employed. So every Sunday, it was her day, whatever she wanted to do.
You got to give her time.
Saturday was Saturday was my work day. Saturday was the grind day, and where I would grind from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. And then in between, on the weekdays, it was usually from 8 to midnight. outside of Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It was Monday, Thursday, Friday. It was 8 to midnight. I worked on whatever I was doing in the office. And now that I'm a brokepreneur, I have a regiment. So now I get up around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I work out. I feed the dogs. I take them out. I have breakfast with the wife. At 11 o'clock, I'm in the studio. And I'll post before because I take my pre-workout stuff. So when I take the dogs out, I'm posting. And so I try to get my social media posts as early as possible. And then I come in and I'll start. And like, for instance, Mondays are the biggest work days because Mondays are video editing and uploading for the week. So there's a lot of stuff. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays we're recording. So there's a lot of shows. And there's editing. Thursdays and Fridays I'm drawing, writing, social media, networking. But I break out the days. Like today was all video. It was all video production. It was editing yesterday's show that I posted today and uploading it. It was doing another episode of What's in the Box, recording it, editing it, uploading it today. It was prepping. It was talking to some freelance colorists. It was posting social media. And we did a pre-recorded show before this live show. And now we're on the live show. So I break it down. So I create an agenda. The hard part is I don't have balance now that I'm a brokepreneur for free time. I'm working 7 days a week.
Right.
And so now I have to figure out how to break away and get some me time, human time back because I'm just a robot grinding 7 days a week trying to make this happen.
Yeah. No, and that was going to be my next question. And I know, Anibal, you mentioned this a little bit yesterday where
What's that?
You guys, you were talking about again, we were talking about the balance, right? Like the balance in your lives and stuff like that. And you saying no to certain things because you know you have to get some stuff done. So like, how do you determine what you're going to turn down versus what you are going to work on? Like, how do you do that?
How do you determine what you're going to turn down?
Yeah, say for example, somebody says, "Hey, Anibal, I need. Can I commission you to do this?" But you know you have something else going on. Like, do you think to yourself, "Oh, I'm going to say no to this now because I can get it later"? Or like, how do you determine what to turn down and what to work on?
For me, it's pretty simple. I've gotten to the level now where if I know enough about what the job is, I can calculate in my head and kind of predict the amount of time it would take me to do it. Yeah. And then based on what else I got going on, I can say, I can squeeze that little job in for those 3 days and whatever I got going on already, and no problem. But if it's something that's going to be long-term commitment, it's going to drain me and put, my attention too much on that one thing and everything else is going to kind of fall behind. I already predetermined, I'm like, I can't take that job now at the moment. Come check with me if you're still interested in doing it maybe a month from now. And sometimes they come back, sometimes they'll be like, okay, cool, I'll check back with you. That's happened. But, 9 times out of 10, they'll find somebody else. But that's kind of what works for me.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge Ray Felix, Dustin Brunel in the audience. And
John, that's John.
And it's Indigo RBX. Who's that?
Oh, I don't know who that is. Okay. But Future Scope is Johnny.
Yeah, I know that. So go ahead, George.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that you guys, obviously you're both artists, right? But you're also writers. Yeah. So now, and I know that because I know you guys personally. Like, so what takes the longest for you? Like, I know for me, I look at it and I'm thinking I think art takes longer than writing. Like, what do you guys think takes longer, writing or art? Because I know you guys are talking about, Sam, you said, I draw, I make time to draw and on Saturday and Sunday. And Anibal, you're taking commissions for drawing, but very little was said about writing. So when do you guys find the time to write? Or is that just easier where you could just do that wherever you go?
Go ahead, Sam.
I'll start with you, Sam.
Yeah. So Forbidden's done, so I'm not writing that anymore. For Catch the Crazies, you're writing the script. I'm just editing the dialogue and just making sure we talk about flow. So those writing tasks are off my plate, right? You know what I'm saying? So when I was writing Forbidden, that was different. I would take 4-hour slots because what happens is it takes an hour just for me to collect my thoughts. right? So when I'm writing, because I just don't go in and just, I go back and reread it, and I go and I think about it, and then I get in a rhythm, and I have like 2 hours of rhythm, and then I go back and I proofread it that last hour, and just make sure it's flowing right. So I usually block out 4 hours at a time when I'm doing that. So now there are no writing tasks on my plate outside of social media, posting, press kits, all that other stuff, because the big rocks are off my plate. When I decide to start writing the next chapter of Designating on my toilet, then it's different. But normally I usually block out 4-hour segments.
Yeah. But the writing for duty, I know there's no writing in duty. I know you just start drawing.
They're all scripted out.
Are they?
They all have scripts, yeah.
Oh snap! Those are the never before seen scripts. See, that's a source. Don't even bring duty up right now. We'll talk about that shit later.
What happened was, I write the script out.
Kill that green.
I write the script out, but the dialogue usually comes when I'm drawing it.
Oh, I got you.
So I know I write out all the panels and page 1, 4 panels. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And then the dialogue happens when I'm drawing it.
And then that damn duty starts talking to you. I got you.
Yeah.
What about you, Anibal? What's your writing process? How do you do it?
It's different for each project. For the project that I'm working on now for my senior thesis, the one I've been posted up on social media lately, what I've been doing is like I'll take a day. I get 2 rest days a week off from work from my day job, and what I'll do is I'll dedicate one day to the writing. Like I'll go and I got to get out of my studio to do that. I'll go to like a Barnes and Nobles. I'll go to like the mall early in the morning in the food court where there's nobody there. I'll plug in my computer and then I'll make it like a work day. I kind of do similar to what Sam does. I do 2-hour frames of writing and do it 2 hours or as long as my eyes don't give out on me and I gotta get up yeah, exactly. So I'll get up and I do it like I do at work. At work I get a break, like a coffee break or a lunch every 2 hours, so I kind of try to do it in that same setting. And when I'm done for the day, I'll go back and do what Sam just said. I'll kind of reread everything and I'll know what my jump off point to start the next session would be, just because it's fresh in my mind, and I'll go to bed thinking and it'll still be fresh in my mind, so that I know when I get up the next day to do it, it's there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's kind of my process. It doesn't happen very often because I concentrate more on the artwork. The artwork is like a continuous thing for me. Every day I'm doing something. With the writing, I need to kind of disconnect from everything, and I always say it takes a lot out of me to do it. Just I really need to like get, if it's gonna be good and I want other people to think it's good and see it, I really, really like to dive in there. I mean, if it's for myself, I'm just like whatever. But like I know other people are gonna be seeing it, so I really try to like dig in and make it as good as I can.
Yeah, it sounds like I mean, for me as a writer myself, I think writing is something that it does take time, man. It takes, like you guys both said, you guys kind of have to gather your thoughts. You have to kind of sit, like Sam, you sit there for an hour, like, okay, what am I going to do here? You have to disconnect. Yeah. So it definitely takes more.
I'll do what Sam does sometimes. So I'll sketch and doodle before my thoughts come to me before I start writing. I won't just open the pad and just go, voo, voo, voo. I need to kind of like, same thing. I got to unwind and just let the thoughts kind of pour out of me beforehand. Yeah. So yeah.
It's funny because I still write on paper. Like I don't go into the computer. Yeah, my girlfriend makes fun of me, like, what are you doing? How old are you? Like, really? Start typing in the computer. What do you?
I have a lot of my stuff is written on a notepad.
Yeah, I need a notepad. Yeah. Dude. Like because I think my hand is faster than my typing skills.
My senior thesis story is all in here, bro. Like,
look at that top secret, kid.
This is what I take to the mall. I do I do my thumbnails in here as I'm writing, and then as I'm piecing it together, it starts to make sense. If it's something I'm caught up here and I'm stuck, I'll draw it out to see how it plays out, and then I'll go back and write it out. I fix the problem visually, so to speak. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's all before I get into the computer, before I start typing up the official script. Yeah. All that it's done.
So Anibal, you mentioned your thesis a couple of times. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing and like your education. You're back in school, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
I'm scheduled to graduate with my bachelor's the spring of 2022. So nice. I literally have like one more class to do for that, and my senior show, which is considered the senior thesis. Originally, I was gonna go with the story I had talked to you guys about early last year, but with the turn of events and the current status of the world, it was just too serious a story. You know what I mean? And for the audience I'm going to be presenting to, college kids, I was just like, it's too serious. It's too depressing. So I went with something completely different, very fun, all ages, kind of like space opera type of story. And I'm enjoying the hell out of drawing it. So I think I made the right choice. So yeah,
nice.
that's the thesis.
What's your major? What are you graduating?
Illustration.
Illustration?
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So, all right. So this was like the foreplay. Let's get into Forbidden, man. Let's really get into this. Let's dive into it.
Stuff. All right.
Sam, I'm going to start with you, my man.
Forbidden. We got to go wait. I think in the news, let's go to Forbidden. What's up?
All right, so check it out. All right, we're gonna role play a little bit. Don't get funny. We're gonna role play a little bit, Sam. All right. I am this HBO exec, right? I'm looking for the next big thing, the next fantasy series. We just finished, Game of Thrones. I need something because my audience is looking for something. You catch me in the elevator. We're alone, just you and me, one-on-one. How do you pitch Forbidden to me?
Give me your money. Really? This is a stick-up.
That's your pitch. Give me your money.
Give me your money. Do you know who I is? Thank you, George, for setting me up. Let's see.
That's a good one, bro. That's a good one.
Yeah. Let's see.
I told you want me to send you these questions before the show. You said no.
Nah,
I got this.
No, I'm trying to figure out. I'm getting into the elevator, see the guy. I'm like,
get into character, Sam. You're about to pitch this.
I started off like, did they make it out? It's like, make what out? Forbidden. Were they able to get out after the curse? Did sin actually destroy David Hunter's plans? Who's David Hunter? You never heard of the Nocturnals? You never heard of Forbidden? Man, let's talk. And I started that way. I try to get their interest and to pull them in, and go from there. Again, it's I got to know who the player is, and whether or not. If I know that I'm going to meet somebody in an elevator, or I know there's someone I'm targeting, I'm going to profile them first. Are they people who like to be spoken to in bullet points, or they want, they like you to explain? Are they people who always use the excuse I'm pressed for time? You know what I'm saying? I go and feel them out by talking to other people. Have you ever spoken to this guy before about what's blah blah blah? And then I just fill them out and see if you can get away. If you can get somebody to smile, what do you mean? Then you know. And I think it's that initial reaction. Have you heard? And they're like, what are you talking about? Who are you? You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh.
All right, so I'm interested, right? I'm intrigued. I'm like, all right, I want to know more about this. So I'm walking to my limo. I say, yeah, come with me, take a ride with me. I want you to tell me all about this story. What is this story about? What do you say to me?
I'd say, you know what? The world has evolved, but the Nocturnals haven't. They've been cursed and forbidden from walking the surface of the earth. David Hunter, the descendant of Nocron, is a billionaire with a goal to take over the world, and his plans will be destroyed when the Son of Rocks rises from the caverns, and David must do everything and anything to stop it at all costs. And that's how I'll start the conversation. And then we'll go from there. And then we'll go from there. And then we'll go from there.
No, all right, so good. So all right, so you have this. So you have this.
I try to make it brief enough and vague enough, but try to catch their interest enough.
Right. So now, people who are listening to the podcast and watching the show. So, what is Forbidden about? Right. Like, what are the plans for Forbidden? Where do you see the story going? What is this Forbidden that they're pledging money to? What is this?
Forbidden is a work of passion. I created Forbidden in 2000, and it's about basically a group of people, a race of people that lived on the surface of the world centuries ago during the most primitive times, and they were broken up into 3 categories: hunters, farmers, and guards. And a group of hunters went out looking for food, and they entered a forbidden forest, knowing that they should not be entering. They were immediately met with resistance and were attacked by the creepers, which were demonic beings that roamed and protect the forest, and for Nacron, which is the ultimate evil. One escaped, made it back to the village. By nightfall, a figure standing at the foot of the village says, "Give us back the one who has desecrated our land, and no harm will come to you. If you choose not to, you will suffer the wrath of Nacron." They chose not to. Morning comes, they wake up to screaming. Everyone's burning alive from the sun. So they all start running, and they go and they find safe haven in the caverns, and they go underground, and they're never seen again. So the world has evolved. Centuries later, we have iPhones, right? Skyscrapers, automobiles. The world has evolved, but the Nocturnals haven't, and they've remained underground, and they lived underground since. David Hunter is the human form of Nacron, and his goal is to take over the globe. But there's a legend, and the legend has it that his plans will be ruined when the son of Nacron rises from the earth, and he cannot let it happen. So where this story takes place that you're pledging for, it's when the ultimate sin takes place in the caverns, which creates a series of events and awakens Nacron to the reality that, they're trying to come to the surface. And so now things pop off. And so we start off at the point where Starticus is his name. He earns the name Sin because the ultimate sin that was done. And now he puts his sister, Desiree, in a compromising position because she has to choose between her brother and her father. And her father now must make a decision that will change everything for his people. And that's where it takes off.
So this is what the story of Forbidden is, right? It's a story about betrayal and fathers and sons and families, divided. So Anibal, how did you get involved with the Forbidden Project? When did you, because Sam, you wrote it, you had it all written, ready to go, you need an artist. Here's Anibal. How did you get involved in the story?
Yeah. Okay. Should I get into that whole?
It was the Big Brother program.
we already know the backstory,
yes.
So I'll just place it into the time from when Sam approached me and we got together on the story. So
okay, all right. These niggas smile.
It's funny stuff, man.
It is.
It's hilarious.
Good times.
For anybody who missed that, just go back to whatever episode that was. I was on last April 1st, April Fool's Day, and you'll catch the backstory behind this story. So just put that out there. No, man. When that incident occurred, Samuel and I met at the Starbucks in Times Square, 43rd Street, whatever it is, around the corner from Town Comics. Yeah. And he came in, that briefcase, man. You know what I mean?
Yo, that was the spot. I'm sorry to cut you off, Anibal. You just brought it back, dude. That was the office. The Starbucks. That was on 39th and 8th Ave.
Yeah, right across street from Port Authority.
It was Port Authority. Right across.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
That was awesome, bro.
That was the spot.
I love that place, bro. Whenever I go to New York, I still go there. I don't want to veer off too much, but okay. Anyway, all right. So he comes in, right? Dressed up. I guess he had just finished work. He's all suited up. He comes in. He opens the briefcase.
David Hunter up in
this bad boy. Oh, drops that bad boy on the table, right? And he's like, I got a contract. I want you to work on this story, this and that. Please carefully look over the contract, And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And what have you done with Samuel Vera? This is not the same guy I met a month ago.
It was David Hunter, kid. Nacron.
He was like very, very you could tell he worked in the executive branch of his job. Whatever he did at the time, you could tell he came from that. And, I respect that. I said, the man, once he showed me this, I looked through this, he had me hooked. I was like, wow, I've never met anybody, and I know a lot of creators, but I never met anybody at that point that took it to this level that made it be like a business, like a real business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that was 2004? That was 2004?
That was 2004. Yeah, that was 2004.
And
right before I went away on my tour, and I went away to Iraq in July. That had to have been the spring, probably like April, May, around that time. I don't remember exactly when, but that's when that happened.
Yeah,
I signed on right away, no questions asked. I was like, no money, I don't care. I love this. You know, oh man. So I'm like salivating over this stuff. You know
We
what I
were
mean?
brokepreneurs before brokepreneurs was a thing.
Dude, yeah, man. So it
That's
took
a
off for me from there.
great story.
And for me, like at that point in time, admittedly, I didn't have much. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a foundation to ground me to take the art seriously. I mean, I was trying to put myself out there and slowly going to conventions and showing my work and all that.
Had no reason. You had no reason.
But there was really no seriousness behind it. Yeah. There was no anchor, like kind of no accountability. I would draw when I felt like it. You know what I mean? When this came around, it really, you know, it put a whole new perspective on the art game for me. Honestly, I gotta say. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, dude. That's a great story, bro.
I forgot that's where we did it.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying.
A lot of good moments there, man.
Yes. That was the office. We used to hold it down.
That was the mobile office.
Yeah. Upstairs. You walk up the stairs, you get your coffee downstairs, you go up the stairs, sit down. There was a table up there.
We had to wait in line for the bathroom.
Oh, that bathroom.
Stairs.
Dude, that's great, man. But you know what? It was 04 and it's 2021 and you still have that Bible, dude. Look at that thing.
Yeah. Everything. I'll show you briefly. Like, this is stuff that has never been seen by the public eye.
Show me.
Let me see what I got here.
Sam, you remember this Bible?
Well, I remember I gave him the script. I gave him the sketches.
Look at this.
I got some of the original concept designs for the forbidden the main character once he transformed. And
Aniba has a lot of original.
Spoiler alert! I don't know who knows about this out there, or if it's been changed.
Oops.
Here's a little sneak peek more on that.
Yeah, wow.
For the pinup. So.
Jeez, man, you should send me those scans. I will put it in the sketchbook.
Look at that.
We'll do. Here's a really quick rendition I did of the character, the big bad.
Yes. I remember posing for you. Yeah, I remember.
I remember posing for you. Look at the hair, though. Look at the hair.
I believe you guys are using this as
the cover.
Or one of the covers, right? So yeah, man, I got it all here, man. And I was on one of my cleaning binges the other day out in the garage. Like, I had my studio out there before and I moved it back into the basement. And I'm going through this file cabinet and all this like musty paper smell came out of one drawer. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
Love that smell.
Like, and it was this thing. Yeah. So,
wow. Yeah, man. Look at that. Found. Yeah. It's like, that's serious like the holy grail right there. You know what's funny? Aniba has a lot of original art from all of us. He's got some George pieces. He's got, he does, dude. I
even have some Jonathan scripts when he was staying with me. I guess he had tossed them out or whatever, and I just happened to come across them in my garage. I slipped those away too. So yeah, man, I keep all that stuff, man. You never know.
Awesome, dude. Yeah. Sam, what do you remember from that? Do you remember anything from that meeting? Like, what do you?
No, remember? I don't remember how. I don't remember how it happened. I just remember that. I remember that Anibal was in a precarious position, and I was like, "Look, let's. I got something. Let's just do it, And I was like, "Look here, toma." So I didn't remember the setting. I just remembered that I had the script, I had the history, the Bible, I had all that stuff, and I also had concept designs. So I was like, "Here," and then he ran with it.
His exact words, I'll tell you, were like something to the effect of. Such and such was pulled. You're working on this.
Hold that.
You're now working on this. And I'm like, okay, cool, no problem.
Wow.
What's up, Christian Aluas?
Christian Aluas, he's got some funny stuff. So anyway, we've been invited to do a live podcast at the Bronx Heroes this summer. So we're invited to do that.
Hey, as long as you set us up where we have electricity, we're good.
There you go.
And Wi-Fi. We need Wi-Fi.
Christian says, George, you'd bring Sam to your limo after he says in a soft, creepy voice with intense eyes, have you heard? Can this bitch be told upbeat like you and the producer are having forbidden fun?
Yo, I'm the stick-up kid.
Have you heard?
Oh
man, but
that's how you get people. That's how you get people because they probably think it's like a stock that's coming out. It's like, yo, have you heard?
Like, what you got? What you got? So Sam, looking at that book right there, and do you remember sketching out some of those characters? And who is your favorite character in Forbidden?
Oh, there's three, but there's three. Number one, I love the Anibal's interpretation of the characters. Like, he took what I gave him and he just gave it a whole different life. But there's three, and it's Shaku, it's Viejo, and it's Desiree. They're the three that are the most important to me, for various reasons. But those are my favorite. Number one, I think your Anibal's rendition of Desiree, she's the sexiest thing out there. I mean, he blew her up. I mean, and but Viejo, you're gonna see in the next issues. You're gonna see when it pops off with Viejo, he's the man. And and Desiree, what she does in the future episodes. So it's really, those are my three main characters.
I love that you subconsciously or like that Freudian slip, right? You said episodes, like you already see it
yes.
as like this episodic thing. So Anibal, same question for you. I know this is like out of the blue, but who was your favorite character to draw? Like, who did you like drawing? Who did you have the most fun? I mean, I know you didn't get to draw too many of the future guys that are coming up, but what are some of the fun things to draw? What did you like?
Initially, even like when you asked us this question, like before on the other podcast, I always gravitated towards the main character, Sin. But looking back and I've been like seeing some of the posts and the stuff for the Indiegogo, Viejo is the man, bro. Like even thinking about his role in what I'm familiar with, like he's that, like, he's like the Obi-Wan to Luke, you know what I mean? That guy is essential in your story. You know what I mean? That you gotta have that guy there, you know what I mean? And he can't be slept on. So I'm now leaning towards Viejo. You know?
that's you know what it is?
Sam, you call him Viejo, he's only 50, bro. I saw the bio. I'm like, damn, we're almost Viejo's age. I don't feel like a Viejo. I still feel like a kid.
Yo, you gotta remember, when I wrote it, I was just a seedling, so that was old to me. You know?
I know. And that's probably why we like him more now, because we are Viejos.
I can relate to him now, right? Yeah, shit, yeah.
So for anybody who doesn't speak Spanish, Viejo means old man in Spanish, and he's basically his name is Viejo, but Viejo is like a term of endearment. So for anybody's like, hey man, that's age. Viejo in the Spanish culture is what you call your dad sometimes. Viejo, it's a term of endearment. Like it's almost like calling somebody wise man. You know what I mean? Hey, wise man, because the older you get, the wiser you become.
Right.
But that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I had no idea that he was 50 years old.
Viejo's not that old, man. Viejo's not that Viejo. Damn it.
I'm changing it.
Make him older, man.
Yeah. He's 72.
Well, he's still gotta have, he's gotta be old enough where he has skills, and still be able to work.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
He puts in the work.
Oh,
50's a young man to me now, bro. Like,
dude, it's crazy, right? 50. Anyway, all right. So moving on to the next part of my questions here. So you guys met up at this Starbucks.
The infamous Starbucks.
Kid drops the boom, the Bible right on the table. Bang, you're working on this. How was the collaborative process, Aniba? How was it working with Sam? Tell us a little bit about that. If you have any fun stories about that.
Yeah, again, for my first time out, and I got lucky in a lot of ways because not only was I working on something I loved, I had a passion for fantasy, and that's kind of like, everybody that knows me kind of knows that's like my thing. But I was very lucky that creatively and in a work setting, our personalities gelled so good that it was like almost like we shared a brain, like we were just sitting together. He'd break it down and I'd be like, okay, I see it like this, that, and the other. I show him, he'd be like, okay, this is actually it. And it was just like seamless. It was a very seamless collaboration for me. It was probably, honestly, one of, if not the best collaborations I've had with any indie creator, and I've had many. So yeah.
He left you alone. Sounds like he just said, "Do your thing."
Well, I mean, I think when I saw his renditions, I was like, I don't need to tell him what to do. I just got to make sure the panels flow, and that was it. I don't need to tell him how to draw. The guy has. I mean, the way he made things pop in the panels. It was. I think it was one time, and I found it, and I'm going to show it. There was one time I struck a nerve with Anibal because I wanted a dream sequence, and I drew in the dream sequence, and then he was like, "Oh hell no!" So It never made it in
You
the.
drew something?
He was like, hell no, you know? So and it never made it in the book, and I didn't realize I had it. So I found it today.
Do you have your version, Sam? Do you have your version of the dream sequence you drew or no?
Oh, it's not here. It's in another binder. Okay. Yeah, I do have it, but it's in another binder. But so it was a dream sequence that I wanted, and he didn't have it in there. It was after I saw what he did. I was like, it needs a dream sequence, and so I just added it in. And so then he came back with this page. He came back with this page that never made it in the book. And I was like,
I don't remember that.
I don't remember it either. And I was like, so I was looking at it today. I was like, oh man. So this is, I gotta get this into the second issue because this is dope.
Yeah, I remember the situation with. Like, I have a vague recollection of that. I don't remember and I don't remember doing that. That's great.
Right. Yeah, that was anger. Okay, you have blacked out. And
I guess I blacked that memory out, right? What I'm actually doing, like, pardon me, I'm looking down because I'm looking for the original thumbnails I did out when I was in Iraq, and in the 110-degree weather.
Dude, I want to ask you about that too, because the first thing I remember, and again, we had just met Anibal. You know what I mean? He was working with us, and I remember the first page I remember you drawing was the page, and this is, guys, we're discussing Forbidden. It's on Indiegogo right now, so if you guys want to check out a kick-ass, fantasy story, go to Indiegogo, type in Forbidden Comic, and you're gonna see the campaign.
Yes,
it's funded, but we want to get to the stretch goals. Some of the stretch goals, or one of the stretch goals, is gonna be additional pages, not just from issue 0, but from issue 1. And that brings me to what I was going to say. One of the first pages that I saw that Anibal drew was that page where Sin is in the desert.
Yeah, that's this one here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That's an issue 2.
That was the first page, Anibal, that I saw from you, and I was like, "Yo,
that's this one, yeah,
is real."
Hey, George, I'm gonna call George out really quick on this one, Sammy.
Oh shoot!
George was supposed to ink for me. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
anybody remember that? He was supposed to ink, but he got scared. He was like, "Oh, I can't try to ink this stuff, man. No way."
Yo, look at that thing, dude. This was 2004.
Yeah.
Anibal had just.
You remember that, George? Come on, you gotta remember that.
I do remember. I'm like, yo, nah, man.
Over me.
I was like, but I don't really ink. Like,
I'm not an inker, really.
I'm not an inker.
I don't even have a pen.
When I fell in love with Anibal's style is when I saw this piece right here, which is gonna be the cover for issue 2.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I was telling Mike, I still have this.
Yes, there it is.
This is it in color. Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces.
Yes. Yeah. When he showed me that, I was like, oh, that's. It was beautiful. I was like,
you gotta send me a scan of that other one, that dream sequence, Sam. I do.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I found it today. So today I'm rummaging through it, and I'm like, what is this? I never seen this before. I had this, and I was like, oh, and now I remember, because I remember when you submitted the page.
Yeah.
Let me see if I find the page here.
Because I have a book, a printed book with, like, you have notes in it of making the corrections to the dream sequence, and there's a few other notes in it, but I don't remember what came out after that, like how we corrected it.
I know where it is. Hold on. I'll find it.
Damn. Yeah, no, this is dope.
It's crazy, right?
I love it. I love, like,
what I found of some of the stuff. I like the layouts for the action sequences, and
nice.
I likely did these when I was out there in the desert. So
Anibal, while Sam finds that stuff, I know you mentioned you have worked with different, and you collaborated with different creatives. Yeah. What were some of the, like, working with Sam and stuff like that? What are some of the things that you found were positive, and some of the things you found that were negative in comparison to working with others? What are some of the things that you found different?
Well, with Sam, like you mentioned, I appreciate the freedom, and like, I don't need to take over the project, and I don't need, like, my vision imposed on it, but I do like to be creatives, and I like to have the space to be creative. And I think a lot of artists do, you know what I mean? Like, it's I don't want to say difficult, but it's a little challenging to be having to be so strictly adhering to what's written in the script. It kind of, for me personally, I've always said this, it takes away from the creative process, because the creative process is something that grows right there in the moment. It's not like a formula. It's not like cooking directions or anything like that. It's not something so straight. You know what I mean? It's born of the moment. You can get a script, you can get a guideline, but when you're actually creating and making it, it has to be able to grow in that moment. You know what I mean? If you put too many restrictions on it, it ceases to be a creative project. It is now just a machine. You know what I mean? You're cranking out something mechanical. It might as well be like a conveyor belt or whatnot, and you're just cranking out something mechanical. So with Sam, the experience was it grew in the moment. So it was very creative, which I really appreciated.
Yeah. No, I actually see that. I see that, Anibal, because I was lettering the book, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking. So Sam sends me the script, and I have the page. And in a lot of cases, there were either panels that were added, to change, and obviously changes where I'm placing the balloons, because now you have one panel here, two panels. Now the page got 4 or 5 panels.
Exactly.
But these are liberties that you took and were allowed to take, and that was part of the process you're talking about.
Absolutely, yeah. That to me is essential when I'm working with somebody. Like I've been in it so long now that I almost I don't demand it, but I let that be known up front. I have to be able to create. I have to be able to, you have to accept my input. If you're not willing to go that far with me, and if it's a long process that we're going to be working together for a while, I won't even take it on. That's one of my no-nos. You know what I mean? I would be like, okay, I'm not the guy for that job. Move on. So I could suggest somebody, So
So you see, I have it on the screen. I don't know if you guys have the screen. So you see where Viejo is blowing smoke. And it was that page there where I felt it needed a dream sequence. And so I drew the dream sequence. And so then Anibal came back and he's like, oh, hell no. So you took that page back because I don't have it in my book. And I didn't remember that you submitted this. And you put the dream.
Remember that.
Because I drew in the baby being born. I drew in all this other stuff. And then on a separate piece of paper, and I superimposed it in Photoshop. And then you came back with this. And I was like, oh, well, this is going to go into the book now, because now I don't need my stupid dream sequence because I got this bad boy. I was like, holy crap. I found it today. I was like, so the book was done until now, so George got to rearrange the panels.
Speaking of creating on the spot, right? This just happened. So
I was like, I'd rather it be pure to the style, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's awesome.
Because I was like, wait, why am I missing the page? It's like, oh, now I remember. Anibal wasn't happy, and he's like, I'm doing that over. And I don't remember getting it on time.
That's definitely, I'll agree with Sam there. Like, sometimes I would do a layout or whatever, and I wouldn't be happy with the outcome. And I'll tell Sam, I'll be like, look, I think I'm going to change this and do it over. And he was cool with that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, we did have a deadline in mind, but it wasn't like, nah, it's already done, let's move on. He gave me the time to do that and really be, in the moment and be creative. So that's well appreciated.
I'm going to see if I have the colored version.
I got to see that. That's funny.
No, that's awesome, dude. I had no idea. Like, there are so many things that you guys have that I've never seen. And I know that you were working on pages for like issue 3, Anibal, and you just never saw the light of day or whatever, but you still have a lot of that stuff. I know you had mentioned that you did. And that's amazing. Look at it.
They're all in here.
Look at that, dude.
Issue 3, bro. Let's see what I can pull out of the
oh man.
back over here. Man.
So for everybody watching, we're doing a little forbidden.
This was a fun page.
Oh yeah, look at that.
This is a sequence when Desra and her men are encountered in the camp.
I never even seen that.
Yeah, I'll send you a scan.
Yeah, I never even seen that. Son of a biscuit.
Viejo.
Yeah, looking 50. Looking 50.
Looking 50. Okay, Sam, do you remember this? This was one I misinterpreted somehow, and I forget what it was. I read it wrong, whatever, and something in the sequence was wrong. So I redid it, or I added a panel to the final. I can't remember exactly what it was, but this was the original. So if you look in the book, this scene is different because you caught the mistake. I didn't catch it, so I redid whatever it was, and it made it to the book. So this is what it originally looked like.
Oh, is that the one where? Okay, I think I know which one. I just don't want to give it away, but
that was
I think
a great
I know
shot
which one
too.
That is good stuff.
What it was.
Is that for book 3, anyone?
No, that was the other one. That was book
0.
I don't remember.
I think I know which one this is. I just don't want to ruin it because people are gonna get it and they're gonna be like, "Wait, that's what that is."
All right, I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers either because I got some stuff. I don't know if you changed it or not.
Let me see.
Anibal Cesar.
I've never seen any of that
What's
stuff.
up? Yeah, buddy.
Oh my
Wait,
cousin.
so-
So
that means you was.
I have.
Came over. Yeah.
That means you were starting on issue 3.
Yeah. Look at
that. Yeah. We were.
Look at that.
Yeah, we were in the midst of it. I think Samuel blocked that out. Blacked out completely.
I was traveling with Duty. I don't remember.
Like, yeah, that's when Duty took over.
Block out that whole thing.
No, that's when Duty took over, bro. That was it.
That's that stuff.
So Sam, tell us why. Like, okay, I know. Listen, we all know and we love Anibal's artwork. What was it specifically about his artwork that you loved? What made you a fan of his artwork when you first saw it? Not even forbidden stuff. Just when we first met him, what was it about his artwork that you were like, yeah, man, I got to work with this guy?
Initially, it's what he did on Street Journal. It was what he was doing with Street Journal that I was like, when things needed to move on, I just capitalized. I was like, look, we need to just start, because he's going to be like, yo, this is nonsense. I'm done with this. I'm going to walk away and whatever. So I was like,
you didn't want to lose him.
Right. So because I was a big fan of what you did on Street Journal. And,
Thank you.
And so then when he started on this and then he started showing those renditions and the interpretations, I was like,
dude,
I'm good.
Honestly, it's so crazy because, and obviously I love Street Journal. That's my joint. But I think that your art really opened up when you started working in Forbidden. Like that's like the warm up was over, and now you were just like, all right, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do what
as an artist, you always like to kind of flex your muscles. You want to show off what you can do. You want to do these incredible fight scenes and these guys.
Well, that's what it was. Yeah,
cool weapons. So I jumped all over that. I was able to just kind of unleash all that. You know what I mean?
And listen, for anybody who's listening who doesn't know, Anibal did go to the Kubert School. For comic book drawing. So your sequential art was just off the hook, bro. Like your storytelling abilities on a piece of paper, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. Like seriously, like that. That's what, to me, when I saw like the angles that you were placing and like how the story was just moving, I was like, yo, dude, this is insane. Yeah, this was insane. And you know what? We all had. I mean, I was a baby in the industry at that point. I had never seen. Like, I mean, obviously we've seen it I had seen it in comic books, Marvel, DC and stuff, but I had never seen it from a peer doing that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Live. Like, I was like, yo, I'm really working with a dude that knows how to do this stuff. Like, I was doing my Rust.
And then George said, I'm not inking this. I'm going to ruin it.
Getting it inked in freaking Sharpie. I was working on that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Sharpie. The Sharpie.
I was doing that stuff. I couldn't look at a Sharpie for years after that. But yeah. But I'm not even gonna talk about it, Sam. Leave me alone.
I actually have that page.
That Sharpie incident. Oh my god.
Oh, that was awesome.
How were we? Were we in your apartment
We're in the basement. We're in the studio.
We were in Sam's basement, bro.
We were in Sam's basement.
We used to meet up in his basement. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
With the C on the floor. He put the C on the floor.
Yes.
The crazy
I remember that. Yeah, that's what their podcast used to be filmed from, recorded from. All right, so Anibal, so going back to you, bro, I know that you were deployed at the time that the project, and I don't remember whether your deployment, I mean, obviously it happened after you had gotten together with us, and I remember hearing that you were going, and we were like, oh man,
damn,
that's crazy, right? We're like,
lost our guys, right?
That's it, it's over. Like, what are we gonna do? So tell us a little bit about your experience out there while you were out there, and now you had discovered your passion. You were like, oh my god, I'm about to start doing this, and now you're out there. Like, how was it out there for you?
I'm trying to think if I can remember. Did I know I was going? I don't think I knew I was going at the time I met you guys, so it kind of like caught me by surprise. And it couldn't have been better for me to have landed this gig with you guys, because if you've never been in country, as they say, or during a wartime situation, any little thing that can remind you and take your mind away from what's going on around you and bring you back to your real world, real life is a blessing. You know what I mean? So that little nugget that I had, off of meeting you guys was like my thing, man. I clung to that, man. And it got me through a lot of like lonely, for lack of a better word, boring days, just boring nights, just the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? Sand to the left of me, sand to the right of me. You know what I mean? And back then there was no internet the way there is now. There was no social media. my wife used to, she was my girlfriend at the time. She would mail me, Arroyo, mail call. They'd come in with the bag, the sack of actual letters, and I'd run to this thing like it was like, oh my God, give me my letter, please, please. And it was that serious for me. And whenever I had downtime, we would work out there. We would work 12-hour shifts. We would rotate the shift. We would do one unit would do days for a month, and then we've switched to nights. So every month we were alternating. We were out there about 3 months. And during those 12-hour shifts, I worked as a medic. So sometimes, there's no sick people, there's no hurt people. So in my downtime, I'd be doodling and sketching and thinking of ideas, anything to get my mind off what was around me, basically. And that book, I wish I could find it. I was looking for it right now. I can't find it. Those thumbnails. I put my heart and soul into that, man. Everybody that knew me there knew about Crazy Comics. Like, I think I tagged it up on like a missile.
A missile, yes.
Yeah, we did a tour. We toured one of the bases on the location, and there's like this missile, and I was like, Catch the Craze or Crazy Comics Forever or something. Yes. I was so proud of that. Anybody met me and we had small talk. I was smoking at the time. I used to be a smoker, so we would kick it, smoking. The first conversation that came out of my mouth, hey, I draw comics. I just signed a deal with these guys, Crazy Comics. Wow. Listen to how funny this is. Listen to how full of themselves some people are. Some people tell me, oh, I heard of them. I know who they are. Right? Oh yeah, I heard of them. They're faking the funk.
I'm international.
And I'm like, all right, who am I to deny? Maybe they have heard of them.
Maybe they're out here. Maybe I made it bigger than I thought, and I'm not getting paid. Wait, what happened?
Yeah, right. But for me, that's whenever I think about that moment in my life. This project is always connected to that, like even like looking through this, I just think Iraq. I think about my experiences out there. I could smell it, I could hear it, and it's very, very real for me. And that's awesome. It's so funny because there's good and bad in it, but I'm only choosing to focus on the good. It was an exciting time for me, no matter what else was going on,
Yeah. Man, that's deep.
Yeah.
So now those thumbnails, those were the ones that you brought back to now create the pages off of that.
Yeah,
it's not like you had 11 by 17 sheets of paper. I think you just had the little notebook.
Yeah, I worked directly from those thumbnails. Like I would, do what you used to do with the 8 by 11. Fold that in half and make a little booklet out of it. And I use those directly for some of those pages that are in print. The original ideas came down from my brain when I was in Iraq. So
damn, dude, that
goes deep, man.
It does. It does, man. All right, so let's fast forward, Sam. We have Forbidden. It's coming back, right? You decided, all right, you had put it away. Duty took over. You had this in my toilet. You did that. You left 10 years. You come back. You're like, I'm gonna bring this bad boy back. Bringing it back means kind of a rebrand. All right. Talk to me about the logo. Because Forbidden was different, even from when you showed us that Anibal with the pinup that you had. The logo was different than what we see today. So tell me a little bit about what.
Oh, word.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's a different logo. Yeah, it's totally different.
It's a different logo.
Totally different. So what brought the change? What was it about it that you said, you know what, I need to change this up?
A lot of it. It was the earth elements. The rising from I needed something that's going to convey the story. So I used the color palette for the logo because I wanted blood. So I used like a blood red.
Mm-hmm.
The rust on the symbols, I wanted to be like old, weathered, like an old artifact that you would find underground. That's why I have that rustic element that looks to it. The triangle, the rising. So all those things for me, I knew that, the people that knew of Forbidden back in the days, for me, reintroducing it, I had to have a fresh start, a fresh look to it. And so I start, for me, I always knew, similar to Catch the Craze, I knew that I was going to rebrand the logo. I just didn't know when, and I needed to give it thought. And same thing with Forbidden. So when I started writing it, the logo started, and I started playing with design. So I have same thing. I have a doodle pad, and so at work during my lunch, I would be in my office, just sketching, and researching, and then I landed on this, and I just played with it. I went and looked for the right font, everything. So for me, this represents Forbidden a lot more effectively than just that slash of red with the words across.
Yeah. No, no, it's cool, man. I actually like what you did in the promo, the trailer where you hear the clang clang.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like the sound effects that you did.
Promos off the hook.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's really, really cool. Really, really cool. So, all right, so that's cool. So then now you have a rebranded name. You're bringing back Forbidden. So now, Anibal, the elephant in the room, right? What kept you from coming back to the project? Why didn't you come back to finish the run at this point?
Because I was a brokepreneur.
That's not entirely untrue, actually, but the main reason was I was overbooked. I mean, even like now, like within the last couple of years, I've been really trying to push my own stuff out there, and I just decided I'm not going to commit to anybody else's story because it just takes too much time. It takes too much out of me. Like I would be happy to get on a team of a crew. Like say for instance, if you had a crew working on a story and say you needed somebody like, to do a couple of filler pages or ink something or maybe even color something, I'd be glad. But as long as it was a team effort where it's not all dumped on me, then I might agree to something like that. But at that time that you approached me about it, I was at the moment doing full-time classes. So I had like 12 credits and a lot of them were studio classes. So it was studio classes that I wasn't even really interested in. Like I'm taking like ceramics. I'm making like mugs when I'd rather be drawing comics, but I'm getting graded and I'm paying for the classes. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, I got to put my attention to this damn mug that I'm making here. So, so that when you approached me, that's what was going on at that time, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the main reason. And I put it out there, I'd be happy to do like a promo or, any filler art in the future, when you guys plan on actually putting it out? Like, I mean, I know the Indiegogo is coming to a close or whatever, but when is that actually going to be after you color it, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. So I make a decision tomorrow morning on the colorists. I have 3 and narrowed it down to 3.
Okay.
And they'll start, it's basically, I told them, the first book is 16-day turnaround. Yeah. And so I had 48 bids, and I narrowed it down to 3. So it'll be ready at the end of the campaign to go straight to the printer.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't play. Once I realized that I was going to make the goal, that's when I commissioned the art. I wasn't going to do anything until I made the goal.
And then, so now that you made the goal, it is going to come out as a trade. In the future,
yes. Right? So yes, the goal is at the end of the year to have it collected as a trade paperback with the whole thing. Yes.
Okay, so we can talk about if I'll do a.
Because that was going to be my next question, Anibal. Like, will we see some Anibal Arroyo work on the Street Journal?
I put it out there. If it can make it into print, I'd be glad to throw, like, at least for the trade. That gives me a lot more time to work on something and actually plan for it. So yeah, I'd totally do that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right. So, Sam, talk to us about the Indiegogo campaign. What is on Indiegogo and what are people pledging for?
They're pledging for a brokepreneur. They're pledging for Forbidden, a great fantasy epic series. It's a great story. It's with amazing art, and it's a lot of heart. And it's the first introduction to a limited series. There are 6 issues in total, and this first introductory book, it's 16 pages of an epic intro to the series, plus 8 additional pages of the maps, the history, character bios, and also right now we have an ongoing campaign where you show us your best rendition of Forbidden and I will feature you in the book. So there's also going to be additional pages of guest art that's going to be in the Forbidden book. So far I know of 5 artists that will be featured in the book. Sebastian, Daphne Lage, and John Coates. And right now Christian Alawas is supposed to be working on a piece, and so is Joe Holly.
Joey Crack.
Yeah, I challenged Joey to do a sketch card, and so all those 5 people will be featured in the book.
Cool.
So if there's anybody out there, if you're an artist, if you want show us your best version of the Forbidden characters, just hit that Indiegogo link and you'll see all the characters, or go to crazycomics.com. And So yeah, it's going to be a nice, full, complete book. There's also a sketchbook, and the sketchbook features art by all the people involved in it: Anibal, myself, David Quiles, Pramit Santra, and Eric Ifata. So those are the people that were involved in the whole project. So you're going to get a sketchbook full of nice art with narrations and the thought process and some development stuff. There are amazing pinups. There's an exclusive pinup that's not available on the Indiegogo that you will get if you pledge at $25 or more, that I'm throwing in there. And it's actually the cover to the trade paperback, which I wasn't going to unveil, but I'm doing this as an incentive. There's bookmarks. There's bookmarks. I mean, there's a lot of great. There's a T-shirt. There's a lot of great incentives for you out there. So it's gonna be colored. It's done, and with the whole thing will be ready to go to print at the end of the campaign. So it's not like you're gonna be waiting long. If you followed us on Kickstarter with Catch the Crazies, you get your stuff on time. Omar Solis, if you're watching this, George is gonna hand deliver your Catch the Crazies books because I shipped it out twice, and twice the mailman brought it back to me. So so George Medina is gonna go and take it to you himself.
That's me.
But yeah, so you're guaranteed to get your stuff on time from me, and you're guaranteed to want to follow us for the second installment.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great, man. I think that I love. Listen, man, we've been talking about Forbidden for the last hour and 15 minutes, and that artwork holds up, dude. Like I know, like, you know, obviously as artists you evolve and anyway, you've gotten better, but that artwork, dude, it really holds up. Like that holds all those scenes in the cave. One of the pages that Sam actually showed me that was already colored, and I don't know if you remember this scene, is when the king is in his gear and he's leading this huge a huge like just
this
group of
one.
Men. This one right here.
Yeah, that's epic. Yeah,
this is beautiful.
Yeah, that's an epic sequence, man.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I enjoyed the hell out of that.
Yeah, that one. So that's colored right now by one of the people who want, you know, who are bidding for the coloring job, I guess, in a sense. And it looks great, dude. Like what they did with the armor, dude. Like it looks so good. We're waiting to see what the other group of people are send, or the two other artists group of people, two other artists bring, to see what, you know, which one is. But it holds up, bro. It holds up, and that's a testament to like your artwork. And I think that when people pledge to this book, they are getting quality art. It's not like, oh, this kid who just came out of school was, you know, first gig out. Like this is quality stuff. You know, so yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, no, and so Aniba, I mean, I know, you know, we're going on about an hour and a half, but I just wanted to know, like, so Aniba, so what are some of the things that you have going on as an artist? What are some of the projects? I know there are things you can't talk about, and I know why you can't talk about them, because we talk about these things all the time. Yeah. But what are some of the things that you can tell us about some of your future things that are coming out, or what's out right now?
Very shortly, I'll be posting and sharing one of my class projects I was talking to Michael Garcia about last night. I'm working on a deck of cards using the program Illustrator, and I'm learning on the fly, man. I'm just like learning the program as I go, and I'm getting better and better with each card. So I'll be sharing that very shortly, probably maybe the end of this month. The project is due very soon. We basically got to come up with 10 cards, the back of the cards, and then design the box or the package that they would come in. So that's all, cool. You know, including a logo and the text and all that stuff. So it's a really good crash course in Illustrator for me. And then obviously the senior thesis project, which I'm kind of designing the logo, you know, behind the scenes, and I will be getting it registered based on, you know, our conversations before I share and post and start talking about it. I'm very excited about it. I'm having a blast just drawing the thumbnails on it. So I can't wait to share that with everybody. And for the moment, that's it. I mean, other than that, any commission that pops up, you always see that popping up. And, you know, obviously my sketch of the day, daily sketch routine, which, man, I fell off. I haven't done a consistent sketch of the day in about 2 damn weeks, probably more. But yeah, whenever I get a chance to have something I can share, you know, on social media, I always put it up there. So.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. And obviously, Little Steve's Closet behind you.
Oh yeah,
is out now from Dark Fire Press.
That's out available. Yep, that's right. Ready for purchase.
Yeah, big shout out to Dogfire Press and J.M. DeSantis and everything he's doing. Yeah, he's doing great. I mean, you know, he's publishing my Wonder Duck, which is doing very well. But yeah, for everybody who's interested, go to dogfirepress.com. Little Steve's Closet is on there. You can purchase the book, and it's a hardcover, right? You can get the hardcover and the softcover, right?
Yeah, I have the hardcover and softcover.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, no, keep up the good work, man. And I can't wait to see more stuff from you on Forbidden, man, because that's the joint.
This is actually from David Quiles. This is the cover, one of the covers.
Yeah,
that's the original pencils.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Who colored that? Because I know it's colored something, but who colored it?
That was I have to look at it. I'll be able to look at it.
That was no, that piece is nice. Bro.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I did it. I colored his piece. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You colored it off of his pencils, right?
Yes, off the pencils. Yeah. It was. It came out looking great over his pencils. Yeah. It was new for me.
they're so tight.
Yeah.
Like there's really, I mean, it's like a tight pencil, man. Big shout out to Dave, man. Dave Keelis, if you're around, brother.
Yeah, man.
What's up, man?
Where
you at?
Yeah, the wolf.
Where you at? He had this story, 10,000 miles to, and I can't remember the
Under the sea, 10,000 miles.
10,000 miles, something.
To purgatory?
Hell or to damnation or
something. Yo, it was great. It was a great title. It was about two characters.
I have a lot of his original art.
Yeah, dude, it's great. His artwork was great. He always said, he's like, my artwork is too advanced. People won't understand my artwork until I'm gone. And I'm like, well, you know, let's put it out there now.
Yeah, bro, he wasn't. You know, it's funny. As talented as he was, he still wasn't confident. In his, he was brilliant. His style.
The things he did with the brush. Blah, blah, blah,
I got a quick funny story about him in San Diego. We're sketching, right? We're doing our sketch thing, whatever, and we're doing our pencil work, whatever. And I'm like, damn, I need an eraser. Hey, Dave, do you have an eraser? He's like, I never use one. I work through my mistakes. He said it so seriously too. He was like, I don't use erasers. I work through my mistakes. I was like, that was one of my first encounters with him. I was like, I saw him as the opposite of what Sam. Maybe he hid the lack of confidence or whatever very well from me, because he seemed like so confident in that moment. I was like, wow, this guy's brave. He's bold. You know, the way he just does his thing. You know, but I miss him. I would love to know about him. I would love to know that he's doing well.
Oh, he is. I mean, he bought a house in Vegas.
I heard he's in Vegas. Yeah,
he's a manager in retail.
Okay.
You know,
what about the comics though? Is he doing anything in comics?
The only post I see him do is usually of food and of liquor.
Liquor, yeah. I found him on one of them things, and I just saw pictures of drinks. Just
yeah. I was talking to George. I was like, you know what, 2022, because 2021 is done. Yeah. San Diego canceled for 2021, but 2022, we need to do a road trip to San Diego.
Oh,
bring the band back together.
Johnny. David the Wolf Quiles, Brian Kong, JD Calderon, get the crew.
David Montoya, all them cats, bro.
Oh, man, hell yeah.
We had that really dope picture of us in Tijuana having lunch. Remember that?
Yes.
We were like young whippersnappers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
$1 Coronas. They brought us like a bucket of Coronas or whatever. Yeah.
They were like $5 for like 20 and stuff like that. It was crazy.
Those were good times, man.
Good times, man. Good time. This was a good time. Man. I'm glad we did this. Glad we did this, man. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
So so everybody watching, make sure you hit up Indiegogo. Indiegogo.com. Search Forbidden Comic. And pledge.
I'm gonna put the link right now.
Put the link up there. Pledge, and hopefully we'll get together soon, man. Hopefully we'll all get together soon.
Yeah.
And go grab a bite when we can. Things are starting to ease up a little bit.
Yeah, it's starting to ease
in
up.
Westchester anyway, so I don't know about you.
I'm actually for the first time since December 5th. I'm actually meeting up with former colleagues of mine for lunch on this coming Sunday. It'll be the first time I'm actually leaving the house as a human being. Crazy. I've been in lockdown Pelican Bay. It's like Libertad. Revenga. He goes, oh, that was fun.
Kill it for fun.
Yeah, kill it for fun.
Scarface, real nice.
Yes, I was just watching that the other night.
I love Scarface.
Yes,
man. I love it.
Classic. I hope they don't remake it. Seriously.
Nah, dude. There's no reason.
You can't. That's one of the movies you can't. I mean, just like when they did Carlito's Way Part 2.
Nah, dude.
That was
I didn't
horrible.
even see that. Yeah, I never.
Me neither. I ain't see it.
That was
There
with P
no reason
Diddy.
to
It
do
was
that.
horrible.
Nah,
Horrible.
there was no reason for that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys: Are you guys planning coming now that Sam is mentioning coming back out conventions at all? Any
Yeah,
announcements
dude.
for that?
Yes. So that's why.
Future?
Yeah, we were talking about it. Yes.
Yeah, do it, man. Do it up.
Gilbert says he wants a remake. Scarface was a remake of. Oh yeah, it was
yeah.
different.
Yeah, it was originally
That
an
is true.
Italian
Twice.
movie back in the day. Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Our
that
Scarface. Don't make our Scarface.
Yeah.
And
That,
what we grew up with.
Don't make 1982 Scarface.
That-
Don't do it.
Scarface is generational. It'll last forever. You can watch it. You could be new today and watch it for the first time, and you're gonna be like hooked. You know.
Dude, I watched that movie when I was like 7 years old, barely spoke English. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Yes, he's like
It's like, yo, this is crazy. Say hello to my little friend. I was like, what? What little friend? That's a gun. But
political
no, we're saying
refugee.
about the.
Oh yeah, so I'm looking. I want to do local shows in Jersey.
Yeah, do it, man. Do
Yeah, I
it
want to do some small shows. I'm looking at May to do a show. I'm just doing my research. I want to make sure that it's just not like, everyone's standing there and nobody's showing up to the dance. We've been at those kind of shows before. So, so I'm actually looking. I have to get out. I have to get out the house. I have to try to build and connect with the people and get physical books into people's hands and see the real time reaction to it. Have fun. Remember, when we did Forbidden, remember when we were like on a sketch covers frenzy? Everyone wanted sketch covers.
Yeah,
That's the picture. That's the
picture.
picture. Yeah. It was just like
I was feeling like a rock star.
Yes.
Signing autographs and everything. Like, whoa.
Yes.
That was crazy.
Those were the good times. And
that was in San Diego?
that photo was Big Apple.
You sure?
It could have been San Diego.
I could have sworn that was the same. That was the same stuff you were wearing. We went to see Rosario Dawson for a little bit. We snuck out and we went to see Rosario. Took a picture.
Remember, Sam gave us a uniform. Remember, he tried to brand us.
Yeah.
And I wore it to every show.
Sam branded us.
Sam branded us.
Branding us like cattle.
Yeah.
You're mine now. King.
Yeah. It might have been. Yeah. Honestly, I don't remember if it was San Diego or not.
They're like the Ducky Boys from the Wanderers. Those are good times. But
those were good times. We got to bring it back, man. We got to do it again.
Yes.
Get out there. You know what I'm saying? Do some shows together and just have some fun, man. Like back in the days.
Yes.
Yeah. These stories that you guys were talking about, I forgot about the Starbucks and all that stuff.
we did a few pinups together where I drew a character, he drew a character, and they were raffled off.
Really?
We did it at the Big Apple, and somebody won, and we also raffled it off at the Hawthorne High School Comic Con.
I didn't remember any of that until I saw the post. I was like, wow, this is like it was somebody else. Honestly, I don't remember.
I didn't even know when I looked through my binder. I was like, I don't remember these pages. Where did it come from? It's crazy. It's crazy. You gotta take vitamins and shit. It's like I can't remember half the stuff.
Gotta get our meds.
I know, right?
Man, listen, you gotta get your meds. Gotta get your meds.
Yes.
Get your meds.
Yeah, it came out good, by the way, George. I saw the
Yes.
final. Yeah.
But
you made the right call on that.
meds backwards is Sam does everything masterfully. I'm just saying.
This guy's got everything. But you know what?
It all connects back to Sam, right?
Yo, but that's why I changed the S to a Z. You gonna say, so I switched it up. I had to switch it up. I was like, well, your name is Zam. Your name is Sam, bro. Your name is Zam.
You changed it to a Z because somebody had the S. You liar.
I couldn't get your meds.com. That shit was like you belong to a pharmaceutical company.
That's the same thing that happened with Brokepreneur. I got brokepreneur.co.
Somebody owns brokepreneur.com?
Yeah. It's up for sale. But they want too much money.
Holy
I'm
God.
sure.
Yeah.
It's tough to be original, man. Tough to be original.
It is.
I still believe in it, but it's very tough to be original.
Yeah, right now, if I sold crazycomics.com, it's going for, I think it was like, it's a few G's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pay for that stuff. Bro.
Yeah, Cast the Craze, the same thing. It's worth ducats. So I'm not selling any of it. I own about 30 different .coms over the years. Yes, I have Disneyland in my toilet. I have Duty's World. I got Hi, I'm Duty. I got all that stuff. I got I have CosmicWars.com. I have for every one of my books.
Yeah. No. Hey, listen, man, that's important. And what we were talking about, Anibal, copywriting your stuff is important too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Making sure your stuff's legit so you can actually put it out there.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Anibal, what's next for you, man? I know you're on a tour, so what's next on the tour of podcasts?
Okay, my next appearance, I believe, will be with the Nerds of the Round, sometime in early April. I can't remember the exact date right now, but we'll be discussing. It'll be a show based on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Bucky.
So I'm gonna definitely brush up on my.
Big shout out to the Nerds of the Round. They do a really good job with those recap shows. They did it for the Mandalorian, and they've been doing it for WandaVision. And it's funny because it actually got me watching the shows because I started listening to their shows for the recaps because they know so much about that stuff. It's crazy.
They know their stuff, man.
But big shout out to Nerds of the Round. They're doing their thing. So that's cool that you're going to be on there. I think with Mark Torres, are you going to be on his show?
Mark Torres is about.
It came from the radio.
Actually, you know what? That's actually my next one. That's in that's at the end of March. He actually just sent me a reminder right before I went on with you guys. That's at the end of March at
sweet
with Mark. So it came from the radio. It'll be an audio show and it'll be like a brief interview. He told me it's like a 20-minute thing or whatever. So, but I've heard his show and I love his interview style.
Oh yeah,
he sounds like a real pro, like a real journalist. I love his questions. He's got the good follow-up questions. I dig that. So
Mark is the bomb. Mark is the bomb.
He's been doing this for years, man. He's been doing it since the camcorder days.
I remember.
He's been doing it for a long time.
You talking about he still has a camcorder.
Big shout out to Mark Torres.
Mark is the only one that's still using a typewriter. Stop acting up.
Big shout out to Mark Torres. And
when I was on his show back in 2018, I think it was. I drove up to Long Island to the studio, and he was saying that he still has the same laptop that he's had from back in the days.
What?
Yeah,
so it must be the size of like a car.
Seriously, that thing is a brick. A brick. And you know what? Not too many people know this, and we had him on the show a long time ago. He's got a book that he's been working on. Like he wrote a book, a comic book, that he's yet to put out. Yeah, he's been working on it for a while. So I'm looking forward to whenever it comes out.
Wow.
Yeah, guys. But hey, listen, so I think this is going to be the end of the road for this one.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for checking it out. Make sure you go to Indiegogo.com. Aniba will be around on the social networks. Where you're at Arroyo, right?
At Arroyo on Instagram and Anibal Tocayo Arroyo on Facebook. So, and I'll be sharing the next appearance I'm doing with Mark Torres very soon. So look for that.
I'm digging the videos where they start with your name and then the camera pans out.
Oh,
bam!
Thank you. That's become my thing. That's your
thing. That's your thing.
Here's the funny thing about that, right? It all started because for some strange reason my camera on my phone doesn't work the normal way. I have to flip it. So it only works in selfie mode. So if I want to record something, I got to turn it around this way and do it like that.
No way.
Reason. Yeah, with iPhone, it'll pop in once in a while, but it was out of necessity that and then it just became the thing. And I was like, okay, that's kind of a cool thing. So I kept it. Yeah. So.
Oh man.
Nice.
And then obviously follow us here on the show. And Sammy, you want to give them a little bit about what we're doing with the sponsorship?
Yes. So. I didn't even have the dang image. So,
that's all right.
If you want to sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze, it's as simple as hitting the link below and going over to crazycomics.com and you select which episode you want to sponsor. You can sponsor Catch the Craze, What's in the Box, or the Crazy 10 or less. Sponsorships start at $5 and all the way up to $10. And a 30-second spot that you provide and you give to us, and we'll start it at the beginning of the show, middle, or end. You tell us where you want us to put it, and we'll plug it in. And there he goes. We just had a sponsor who sponsored 6 episodes, and for his campaign, his crowdfunding campaign, and actually one of the viewers, a newer viewer that subscribed to the show, pledged and backed his campaign from watching it. So money well spent.
And he's funded.
He's funded. So you want to promote your books? You got a new book that's coming out. You got a Comic-Con that you're going to be at. A book signing, bar mitzvah, coming out party, whatever it is.
Coming out party.
I'm coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Just hit us up, hit that link, go, and once you select it, it takes you to PayPal. You pay, and all you have to do is send us an email, either Dropbox it with your video, or audio. If it's an audio, you have to have the audio with the with an image. If it's video, it's 30 seconds or less. 30 seconds or less, and it has to be clean. No profanity. Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
So that's it. That's it. That's all we got.
That's all we got. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Please support Forbidden if you have not done so already. I know some are on the fence and like, should I not? A bunch of talented guys on there. I actually colored that piece. Step back in the days. That covers actually the cover for issue 2. Nice. Remastered with the new logo and a new coloring scheme. So yes, so support Forbidden, support the Latin Rascals. Latin love you make me hot. So we appreciate you. Subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment below. Check out Anibal's work. His stuff is off the chain, and I appreciate every single one of you. So I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina. Anibal, stick around.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do.
And we are out.
It's just it's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking?
Oh,
my.
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.